What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. We are here with episode 20, and we have a new guy joining us. As always, we have Chump Change, and welcome the newest member of our panel here, 𝐍𝐸𝐺.
Dude, holy God, that countdown.
I love.
You had me rolling. I had to like
my
hold my tongue.
I can't keep it together. What is happening? We got a countdown to digging a tunnel to some sci-fi stuff.
Welcome. I hate and love you, by the way. By the way, when you guys can't see these two off camera, like laughing and being a mess, it's unbelievable.
What is happening?
Oh, it's great.
Oh
Well,
my God.
what's going on, guys? Well, Mike, what's new with you, man? I know you've been missing for a little while. You want to just kind of fill everybody in?
Let me wipe away the tears from that intro.
Perfect.
Oh my word.
Oh man. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming to hang out with us. I know I've been a little absent. So I'll catch you all up.
Yeah, give it to us. What do you got?
Yeah, so mining wise, so the biggest thing I did, so if anybody's been following me, and I appreciate y'all if you have, is I had everything in my basement and I outgrew the grow tent, so everything was just out in the open. Which is horrible considering the summers that we have right now. Especially these temperatures are ridiculous right now. I mean, we hit like 90 degrees today.
Well, even the temperature wasn't even the bad part. It was like the humidity. The humidity was like it was like insane. Like I didn't even want to go outside at all, going back and forth in my shed. Like it was disgusting. So I don't know how you dealt with it.
Yeah, man. So I knew to get everything out there, and I think I told you guys a while ago, but I never made a video on it. I needed to move everything to my garage, single car garage.
Yeah.
Really would help me with airflow, get things out of the house. So I went up running. I had 60 amps out there, but I wound up upping that. So now I have 125 amps out there.
Nice.
And I ran that all myself. Don't recommend. Super dangerous. Like you could die status, but I did it. Because Chump Change inspired me. Yeah, Chump Change did like, I think like what did you do, like 3 feet going to the sub panel, less than that?
Oh, dude, it was, yeah, even that sucked. It's always scary though, you know, doing like anything with 240 volts is just like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
unbelievable. So I did 90 foot of aluminum that can handle 125 amps out from my basement to the garage, hooked it up to the sub panel. And then what I have right now is 130 amp circuit. So what I've done is I moved almost everything that's outside the grow tent there. So all the server cases are there. All the the really like the 3090s are out there. They're all out there. And what's been wonderful is airflow. Has been really great. Yeah,
what'd you do?
I got the one fan. I got a window in my garage, single car garage, and I got the AC Infinity fan pumping out everything. And then what I did is there's also a just a regular door to the backyard in the garage. So what I did is I just leave that open all the time, and I put in a sliding screen door in there. So that's my intake. So my intake's coming from the regular door. Wow. And then the exhaust is going all out the window. And it's been really, really, really nice. I need to run some more 30 amp circuits out there to get some more stuff moved, but I'm really happy with it so far. And if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, 𝐍𝐸_Crypto, I've posted some stuff up on there of what the move has been, but I also have I'll need to make a new tour video soon. So yeah, that's the short of what I've been up to, just getting everything moved out there.
That's sick. So have you found have you really thought to yourself, why didn't I do this sooner? Like after you've gotten it in place?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was that hurdle of this is a kill an elephant amount of electricity that I'm messing with. You know, and I don't know about you guys. I don't really hire anybody because I'm cheap. Because I spend all my money on GPUs. So I just doing stuff myself, but there is this mental hurdle of I want to make sure I know everything before I attack this. And then there's the day of actually doing it, and then once it's done, it's done. So that was, I think, the biggest thing I needed to overcome.
That's awesome, though. I mean, I think, for me, I will run wire all day long as needed, even if it's done incorrectly. But I'll run it and then always have, an electrician come in and terminate it. That comfort level is, 0 for me. Touching my panel, for me, is always, all right, the farthest I'll go is, flip it a breaker. That's it. Like I will not go any further, but I'll run the cable, whatever we need to do. So I mean, kudos to you. And every time I seem to do stuff, I'm always like, oh, well, I need to get myself my mini chump change. I call it my pocket chump change, who is, you know, either my fix-it-up-it guy or my, you know, handyman electrician. It's like I need somebody who has that expertise. So I think that's awesome. So do you have your whole door? Is the whole door a screen, or is it just like wow? So that's a massive amount of intake. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's like I was trying to figure out what to do because it's just like a regular door going to the backyard. And I was like, what can I do here? I was like thinking like storm door.
Yeah.
You know, and they have like the screen ones, but what they make is really cool is a insert that you can put in any regular door, and it makes it a like retractable screen door that you can open and close. So I was like, this is perfect. Yeah, and they sell it at like Home Depot, Lowe's, all those places. And I was just like, this is perfect. Yeah, and so I just leave that as a screen door all the time, and that is my intake. And it's actually probably too much intake, so I'm thinking about putting another exhaust fan in to balance it out a little bit.
Nice. So what are your you say too much intake, so like what are your temperatures usually? Well, I shouldn't even say that, so it doesn't even matter. I think it really just comes down to how happy your cards are, because it could be 95 in that garage, but if that air is moving, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're really, really good. Some of the couple of 3090s, they just need thermal pads, but it's not, you know, a fault of the airflow. But before I put that screen in, everything was just the fan, like the exhaust, right? So the negative air pressure was insane.
God. Yeah.
And I would open the door to go into my garage from my house because it's an attached garage, and like the door could be open like I had to fight it. That door could be open like 2.5 feet and it would close on its own. Like that's how much the negative air pressure was.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is this doing to my like human body when I walk in there, if that's what we're at? So then I put in that screen door, and it's been phenomenal. So I want to get some more stuff out there, probably throw another exhaust fan in. And then that'll be the stuff I'm thinking about coming up.
That's awesome, dude. Well, I'm glad you're actually doing something, you know, keeping yourself busy.
Yeah, I'm not just laying around all day. Don't worry. I've been busy.
That's good. That's good.
So we'll catch up. We'll catch up with you, Chump Change, and then we'll kind of dive into some things here. So what have you been up to more recently?
So I just received a bunch of solar panels from Hawk doing his, you know, turn my farm on thing.
Yep.
I can't believe he did that. And I'm like, it's very overwhelming. So thank you to anybody that participated in that. So he sent me 6 panels, and I guess he ordered me 2 batteries for the solar stuff. And I'm like, dude, it's insane. So I actually received 2 batteries from a company that I reached out to see if they wanted to sponsor the channel and do like some review stuff. So they sent over 2 batteries for me to do some tests on this week. I just, dude, today was so hot. I couldn't even believe it. I went outside, I like choked on the air. I'm like, oh my God, I've been in the basement all day and I had no idea it was this hot outside. It was just disgusting. But, I mean, I don't know, just really solar stuff be on the roster for this upcoming week. I have a meter box video coming out. I think Red Fox just did one last week, I believe, right? The 120 volt meter box.
Yeah, I saw that.
For anybody that's wondering, they're having a huge giveaway. And it's like you don't have to buy anything to enter to win. So go check it out. I'm sure Hobbyist will have it in his descriptions of his videos and stuff. But yeah, it's I mean, that's pretty much it, really. Just videos, updates, profitability videos coming up this week. So what about you, Hobbyist? What do you got coming up in the pipeline?
So the shed's moving along awesome. I actually had 3 rigs in it all weekend long. So that was a huge win. I was actually away in South Jersey with the family, and had 3 rigs in it as a test. Wanted to see kind of how everything would perform, and it was fantastic. So literally when I got home today, I literally put 8 rigs in it now. 8 server cases are in it right now, and I'm just kind of continuing to test it out, kind of learning things here and there. The one thing like I found I can't run in there is my jazz miner, because it's just so loud. Like I've been really monitoring. I've been really monitoring like my decibel, like the sound. Like literally I'm walking over to my neighbor's house like, okay, is this, how much have I gone up when I've added this type of deal? So right now with 8 server cases in there, and they're down to about 45%, the decibel is at 59 dB at my neighbor's. Yeah.
Are you super concerned because of you don't know who called on
like the whole
situation? Is that why? Yeah. So dude, I'm
so
nervous.
What happened? I missed it.
Yeah, he's got to know.
So yeah. So So we haven't even talked about the shed setup and stuff like that with you at all, but the shed project has been amazing. But I got a email from the township zoning officer, and it was it was an email that I just a few weeks ago got the permit from him, and he was super laid back. And it was an email and quick story with it, but he emailed me asking hey, I just got this weird email. I tried to call the person back and email them back. Their everything bounced back, their phone number didn't work, and it was just the person was asking if you had a business permit. That was it. That's all it said. Does my address have a business permit? That's all it said. And he's like, I'm really confused. He's like, I didn't observe anything when I was there. So long story short, I emailed back and forth with the guy, and I didn't provide any details. Nothing about mining, nothing about shed, nothing. He didn't say anything about it. So I literally was just I don't really know what you're talking about. Kind of BS'd it a little bit. And he's like, all right, well, I haven't heard anything, so we'll just let it go. Not too worried about it. So that was really all it was. So that's why just super concerned about it. I also do want to respect my neighbors, how close they are, and how loud it could be and things like that. So I've been really monitoring it, to give people an idea. On the exhaust side, which is the wide open side of my property, it only is at, when the fans are off, it's at 56 dB. So when the fans are on and stuff's in there and I walk over to this guy's, which is the opposite of the shed, it's 59 dB. So it's all right, not a huge deal. It literally sounds like an air conditioner is running, the outside compressor or whatever it is. So yeah, so it's been good, but I've been starting, even though I didn't want to put anything in it yet and just get the floor done and everything like that, and I'm going to epoxy the floor this upcoming week and stuff. I decided to epoxy it. I'm like, why not? Let's go for it, have some fun with it. But I decided to put stuff in it because I came home today and it was insane. And I was like, screw this. I got this shed sitting here. It's ready to go. I'm throwing stuff in it. So, so that's where we're at.
I have questions. I've only watched. I apologize to all of you because I have a lot of catching up to do on YouTube content. Yeah, I know. So I've watched the beginning shed videos. Do you have the AC Infinity shutter fans in there now?
I have 4 of them. 4 T16s.
Do you have them running at full blast, whatever? I think it's 10.
20%.
Or you have them on
2.
20%?
I have all 4 of them on 2, and my temperature inside the shed it always is about 2 to 3 degrees cooler than outside because it's in the shade. But the air moves through there so quick. All my GPUs that were happy all weekend long. I didn't get any of my GPUs above 70. Just insane amount of airflow I have in there right now.
What's happened though is really interesting. It's a short thing, but so I ran the one fan I have on 10, which is 100%, and it kept tripping the GFCI breaker in the outlet non-stop. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? Tried it on different circuits, same thing. If I run it on one step lower, totally fine, and that's where I've run it on. It's been that way for about a month now.
I wonder if it's I don't know of it. 𝐶humpChange may know more about it, but don't breakers usually those things that literally if you go on your site use 100 watts. They don't use.
Yeah, no. Oh, I put the kilowatt up to it and everything. And then what I was trying to figure it out. I haven't reached out to them. Maybe I should, but I know there's some old refrigerators and stuff just based on how they use electricity and how it flows. They can also trip GFCIs just based on the current. So I don't know if something like that was happening, but that's why I was asking if you're only running them at 20%, then you're not going to run into that. It's only when I run it at 100% that I run into that. So
do you have an updated panel? New breakers, they have those arc fault breakers.
These ones don't have it, but it's tripping the first it's actually tripping the outlet. That's a GFCI that's in the chain, in the circuit. So, and I've tried it on multiple circuits. It's just, I don't know, it's just interesting. I don't know if it's sending some kind of current back that it's freaking out about, but I don't know. That was a day. That was a day, right? Trying to figure out all the GPUs out there. This fan is running. Why is it tripping breakers? That was a day of troubleshooting that I never will get back.
I know there's some newer breakers that kind of like what Chumba said too, but like I ran into this in our house where like when we have like a carpet cleaner because our dog is older, so like when we need to run our carpet cleaner, I can't plug it in to some of the breakers because it will literally pop. So I actually had an electrician out, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you have these breakers." He's like, they like when they see like big arcs, they instantly trip. Not even like when the breaker hits 80%. Now, granted, the one thing I did notice is like some of these devices ramp up and then ramp down. So like that ramp up is what causes it. So our carpet cleaners, that's what I ran into. So I went through and literally had them replace some of my breakers with your more, I'm going to call them wrong terminology, but traditional ones that don't do that because I was tired of it. I was like, seriously, I can't plug this in some of the rooms of my house. Like that drove me insane. But mine, all four of mine in my shed are on a 20 amp, a 120 volt. And my lights in my shed are on it. I have some outlets in my shed that are on it, and I've had no issues so far. But there's barely anything on there. But I haven't gone above 20% because, one, I haven't needed it because there's four of them in there, you know, running. And that was kind of my goal. And plus I noticed, and I don't know if yours is too, the T16s, when I go to 30%, so that third tier, there's almost a little whine to it. I don't know if yours is like that either, but I was trying to avoid that. I was like, oh, I don't want to upset the neighbor.
Mine rattles. It rattles pretty bad where I'm running it right now. Yeah. But my neighbor's like far enough away where like they're not gonna even be bothered by it. But I was kind of surprised by that like rattle it has. But I was like, whatever. As long as it's keeping my GPUs cool, it can be whatever it wants to be. I believe in you, fan.
Yeah, those things are awesome. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad everything's going well for everybody. Everyone seems to be doing well. I am curious. We'll talk a little bit about it with you, Red Fox, and then I'd love to some topics here. I haven't really heard from you. I mean, we've chatted a lot, Chump and I and others, about just like the current power costs and how things are looking. How's that working out for you? I mean, what are you paying now, and is it changing at all? Because that's affected almost everybody within kind of our circles.
Yeah, summer rates just kicked in, so my last electric bill was brutal. I do want to recognize that Chump Change is still sponsored by Under Armour, so I'm glad to see that. Repping proud.
Love Under Armour, man. It's comfortable.
Yeah. But I don't really share my electric rates before, but I'll share them because I had 2 beers in and I just don't care anymore. So my right now it went up to 17 cents, which is the summer rate. Yeah.
All the time?
Still profitable.
All the time? Like
still,
all times
all the time. Yeah, there's no like peak or off peak. So what's interesting is when I the first electric rates I had when I moved here, which is about 5.5 years ago, I was 11-12 cents for winter, and then it would go to, actually it was like 11 and then it would go to 12 during summer. Which sounds like the good old days at this point. And then it's kind of crept up from there. So now my winter rates are around 13. And then this is the highest my summer rates have ever been, which are at 17. But going back to the thing I always talk about, why it's so important to have efficient GPUs, because every single GPU I have is still profitable, even with that electric rate.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's good. Now, have you turned anything off? Like I know I think last I heard you had some 580s that you had powered off. The ones,
yeah, they're stacked up. They're just.
Were there any other ones that you powered down at all?
So the things that I have that aren't mining because they're not profitable is the for me, I don't think the 580s are profitable. I'm pretty sure they're not, but I just have them off regardless. And then I have the Avalon 1066 Bitcoin ASIC is offline. That's been offline for a while because that's not profitable. But there's 0 things that are mining at a loss or like actual break even. Everything else is still profitable. So that's I think that's it, because those are the oldest things that I have. Everything else is 1660 series or newer.
Okay.
What are the 1660s at? Because I don't even know, all my stuff's off just because whatever. Have you looked at all to see if they're still profitable?
I'm gonna what to mine it. So talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, no worries. So I ended up getting my A2000 rig on in the trailer because I did some upgrades. So I put, actually, Hobbyist, you might want to think about doing this, but I put acoustic foam on the inside of the trailer. I have a video coming out tomorrow that I did
interested in it. I can't
rearrange the stuff. So it's, I don't know, it did really cut down the noise. Like on the outside, it's weird. I don't hear my exhaust fan on the roof anymore, which is kind of it's neat, but I can hear like the air coming in from the new vents I cut in the side. So
Yeah, those massive
it's
ones.
yeah, it's interesting, but I mean, I had to get something on. I'm like, you know what, the A2000s have to be profitable at this point since everybody's really shutting off, and you know what I mean. I'm like, I can deal with that. And then the 6600 XTs are the next things I plan on getting into a server case and throwing online.
That's
What'd you end up
awesome.
finding, Mike?
So with 17-cent electric rate, they are revenue 64 cents and profit 34 cents. So still very profitable. Well, very profitable to me considering
Right.
the history that I've been through.
I still
But yeah,
can't turn mine on.
yeah,
So
that's where we're
they're
at.
doing what they need to do.
So Red Fox, for
Gotcha.
you, with having such high electric rate, I assume you're still cashing out some in order to pay for operating costs. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It's it kind of every month's a little different because the electric bill has obviously gone up. So now I want to make sure I'm taking care of that.
Yeah.
Plus any remaining GPU overhead that I have, which thankfully is not a lot because
That's great.
you know, I'll pat myself on the back here since I talked about in the beginning is like you don't want to go into a bear market with this huge overhead. So make sure you're cashing out, in my opinion, some crypto to USD to realize that break even point. Because I didn't do that the first time around in the last cycle, but this cycle I did. So I'm happy with where I'm at. I wish I sold a little bit more, to be honest, because I still got a little bit of overhead from GPUs. But I'm still selling now to mainly cover electric, and then also still chip away at what's remaining for GPUs. Plus, completely transparent, I'm sure, like all of you, we were using YouTube revenue and affiliate revenue to help us out with that as well, and that's down because interest is down, and also like I didn't make a lot of videos, so I also didn't get a lot of YouTube revenue. So that's a little bit about what's happening too. I know a lot of people don't talk about that, but I don't care because transparency is fun.
No, it's true though. Yeah, all the views and stuff have been, you know, really hurting. That's I mean, I think everybody knows that at this point. You know, we've been talking about it quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You got to shut off when you got to shut off. It's not smart to mine when it's not profitable unless you're in a good situation. Obviously, everybody's situation's different, so gotta do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of us, at least content creators, that was definitely the case where, like, you know, things are down a lot, like a sixth, I would say. I would say for me, at least a fifth or a sixth in that regard. And so a lot of that extra revenue, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, a lot of us talk amongst ourselves, not necessarily on numbers from what we're making per month, but more on like what we're seeing from the actual community. And there is like very little new people coming into the scene. Like, no one cares about GPU hash rates. No one cares about, now granted, you might see an influx with the 4000 series, but like new rig builds and things like that. It's like, it's just dried up. And now granted, Chump and I were not part of the last bear market to know, like, I don't know, Red Fox, if you were creating content, I mean, to a degree, did you just see it become a ghost town because like the profitability was 0 to none?
Yeah, I think I came in right before this last one really kicked off. So, you know, I felt really grateful for that. But you see, you know, obviously other content creators like Bitsby Trip and Red Panda. And that's where, you know, it really pays off is when you stick with it.
Agreed.
You know, I think it's totally reasonable to scale back because it's not go time. You know, there's not a million people researching how to mine cryptocurrency on Google, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you know, staying with it is really important because there are people like everybody in this chat right now that builds this amazing community that's going to be here even when we're not making a lot of money because they just believe in it and they just love connecting with each other and all this crazy stuff that we're doing, which is just, man, I don't know if you guys ever feel this way in chat and everybody who watches this on replay, like this is crazy what we do, right? Like we have GPUs in our houses that are mining cryptocurrency because we believe that this is the future of things, whether that's finance or the decentralized internet or whatever it is. Like you truly believe in that. And if you're here in a bear market, you do believe in that. And so I think the responsibility of all of us as content creators is to make sure that we keep that community going. And that's what other content creators have done before us, and they've kept going and they've kept there while others have left. That's okay if you left. It wasn't for you, but
yeah,
there is that kind of responsibility. And you know, if we believe in this stuff, we're going to be here and we're going to hang out with each other. And then sometimes we take breaks and we forgive content creators for that. And then we just hang out, we have a good time. And then one day, you know what we do? We go sail on the crypto yacht together.
Oh, look at this!
That'd be amazing.
So we're gonna end after that speech. After that speech, we'll just end the show right there. We're out, done. You know, words of wisdom from Red Fox Crypto. So we'll kind of jump into some additional discussion here. It's been great to catch up on that, which is, I think, awesome, and we'll see where things go from there in the upcoming weeks. But I think, you know, at this point, the market's been crazy, I would say, over the last week or so. There's been, you know, news. Now we have Ethereum that's aiming for a soft launch date into proof of stake, September 19th. And now all of a sudden we have all these altcoins that seem to be all of a sudden getting these random spikes. Actually hit up Red Fox. I said, what the hell's going on with Firo the other because like literally it was up. I mean, it's back down now, but it was up. And I'll be honest with you guys in the community, I sold, or I converted my Firo almost instantly when it was 650. I don't know if either of you held Firo, swapped it. I know, Mike, you had a master node, I think, but I'll hit up 𝐶humpChains first. Chump, did you have any Firo, or did you do anything with it?
I have like 2.
Whoa.
I literally have none. Yeah, I mined it for like a half a second when the ProgPoW thing happened. I was up that night and I decided to switch till like the next morning. But yeah, my electric bill, man, just doesn't agree with those algorithms, unfortunately. So I never really got into mining it. So, Mike, do you have the master node up and running, or are you still
not
trying
yet?
to get there?
I stopped mining it a little bit ago, so I have.
Smart.
I'm close.
Smart.
I'm over 3/4 of the way.
Wow.
But once the LHR unlock, then I moved all those rigs over to just Ethereum, because Ethereum's my wage, my paycheck, you know.
Right.
So I just was like, I need to move over this to just increase the amount of I can cash out.
Right.
But yeah, so I got some catching up to do at Firo, because I know they've changed, I think, their a couple things on their payouts and all, mining rewards and all that. Still a really big fan of the project as a whole, and I'd absolutely love to run a master node to support their network. I'm coming up a little short there. So, but yeah, I saw that spike. I didn't actually see it until somebody commented on like a video of mine on YouTube and was like, "Hey, Mike, did you see Firo? Congratulations." And I was like, "What?" And then I saw Hobbyist. I think you DM'd me, and I was like, "What?" And then I checked it out, and I was like, "What?" I didn't sell anything because I was like, "That looks cool."
That looks
anyway.
Cool.
That sucks.
Well, yeah, I was
you didn't learn.
Yeah, I was in. I think it was in 𝐶humpChains' Discord, the Misfit Mind Discord, with like Max Voltage and a few other guys, and somebody had said something about Firo. We were in the middle of playing video games or something, and I was like, so while I was waiting, I jumped on. I'm like, oh shit! So I'm like, yep, we're swapping that right now to BTC. So it did go up, you know, even higher. I mean, as I said, I was right around 650-ish, but it did go up. I think it broke 7 at one point. Yeah, 702. Then bam, it was back down to half of that, if not more. And I was like, all right, is what it is. But
dude. If I remember correctly, like Firo went way up in its past to like $25 a coin, like when it was known as 𝐍𝐞𝐞 in the past. Like, I don't know.
It was at 100. I'm actually have it up right now. It was actually at $139.77.
Yeah,
but that was 4 years ago.
Damn.
That was 4 years ago.
Jesus.
What was that? How much?
$139.
All right, I'm gonna do some math right now.
4 years ago? What was it?
Yeah.
So what was the high last year?
Let's look here. Let's see. If you did a 1 year high, it was $9. Yeah, you're kicking yourself now. I'm like, $9.70 was the last 365
Third of my house paid off.
Ooh, that would have been
awesome. If it gets back to that, so that'd be cool.
Yeah,
awesome. That would be awesome. But yeah, we've seen a lot of spikes actually by a handful of coins. Ethereum Classic actually over the last 24 hours or so.
Like $20 or so.
Yeah, like, and that's one where I know a lot of people are hesitant on, just with the fact of, like, you know, everyone thinks ASICs and everything are going to pivot to that and such. And then we've seen a few others go. I mean, 𝐍𝐞𝐞𝐝. I mean, we haven't even talked to you, Red Fox, about 𝐍𝐞𝐞𝐝 at all.
I don't even know what that is. I don't like the name of it, so I'm out.
Dude, it's quite surprising. So it's a crypto like play to earn game, and they implemented it in the game Rust. For right now, it's like a survival game. And then they're gonna get it into
Minecraft,
Roblox, and Minecraft. So
damn,
I think once it hits those big games, like younger kids can get into it, I think it's gonna just skyrocket. But not financial advice. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but just in general, like you guys can see the price right now.
You can mine it.
Like,
you can mine it.
It's like the third. It's on what to mine. It's like the third most profitable coin or something. It was the most profitable.
Damn. So what I'm hearing you say is I should convert all my Bitcoin to whatever that is called, and I will make lots of money.
Yes.
All right, cool. Thanks for the financial advice. Appreciate it.
No, don't do that. Nobody do that.
Done.
But
that was done. I did it.
It's still it's worth it, I think, to get a bag of it and hold it. But
oh, cool. More financial advice.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Hey, I have 0 of it right now, but I've been thinking about putting 1 rig on it just to start. I've thought about it.
It sucks because it is on the core intensive algo, so it's obviously hard to swallow. But
yeah,
I mean, playing the game, if you're gonna play and hang out,
is it on what's mine? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Like it was like the third. It was the most profitable at one point. Now it's like the second or third or something.
What algo does it use? Its own custom algorithm?
𝐍𝐞𝐞𝐝.
Oh,
so it's built on the Raven network. Yeah.
Oh, they can't even make their own algorithm. I'm already out.
Yeah. So if you I have on my channel, we had a developer meeting or interview. Myself and the Mining King did one with their developers, Harvey and Andy New, and they have such drive for this project. I have a feeling that it's, like I said, gonna go somewhere eventually. It still has, like, it's a work in progress, right? But as of right now, I feel like they're doing the right things. I mean, that's just me, but you guys let me know in the chat what you think.
At least they didn't steal another cryptocurrency's name, so they got a +1 in my book.
It's actually a watch that's made somewhere. I don't know. I googled it. I was like, what the hell's 𝐍𝐞𝐞𝐝? Let's see where they got this name from, and it comes up as like a watch brand. And he was like, yeah, you know what? He's like, we came up with the name and then we Googled it too. And it was the same thing. He's like, now we're like always looking over our shoulder. Hopefully they don't try to sue us for using the same name. I'm like, I doubt it, man. I don't think it's that. But
where can you, what's the mining pools that you can mine it at? Do you know?
Personally, I haven't mined it. I just play the game.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna check it out.
I can find out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worth checking it out. I mean, I think the thing is like, even if you're just looking for something that you can swap out of, like you can earn and then swap. The thing is like when they release this in Minecraft, like Rust was a good like launching point. I feel like, as I said, I have 0 of it now, so I have no investment into it. But when it goes to Minecraft, you have to imagine it's gonna have a pretty big pump when you have bazillion people that play Minecraft, and now all of a sudden, you can earn some, and then but that's the cool thing. You can earn it through proof of game, or you can earn it through proof of work. So you can mine it directly with 𝐶𝐶, which I think makes sense. I mean, I may even just put maybe not even a whole rig, maybe in just 1 GPU on it, just to build that bag up. I mean, it can't hurt, especially. But I think everyone's really asking at this point, like, is this another one of these spec coins? You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, looking at their pools on Mining Pool Stats.stream, they're all known, like, new pools that I've never heard of, and one of them has 60% of the known hash rate, which is never a good sign. And then I guess the other thing that feels weird is they just use 𝐶𝐶𝐝 as their algorithm. Like, you just use another project's algo. Why?
But look at Firo. For the longest time.
That's based on ProgPoW. So they customized the ProgPoW foundational algorithm to make FiroPoW, which is the same thing that Ravencoin did when they created their algorithm, but then they didn't even go to the foundational algorithm of ProgPoW and custom it. They just customize it. They just use the same one that Ravencoin's using. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess like all the infrastructure was already there for them, so they just kind of ran with that. So I get it. I mean,
they could. Well, hold on. Pause. I'm gonna get passionate. They can literally go to the GitHub for ProgPoW, and like there's certain levers you can pull to change how it works, and then make it your own custom algorithm. That's literally what Ravencoin and Firo have done. So they couldn't put in the effort.
Oh, really?
To just go use the open source algorithm of ProgPoW to then customize it for themselves. They just copy and pasted 𝐾𝐫. That's the thing. That's just like, come on, a little bit of effort in there. ProgPoW's there.
Well, you
People
would
have
think
customized
too,
it before.
You'd think too, like if you're trying to future-proof your project, that like when Ethereum goes away here, which will be, it seems like September 19th or close to it. But when you look at that, it's like everybody's going to be looking at what algorithm it is and how efficient it is. So it's like if you're looking for future-proofing and you're coming out now, well, within the last few months, we'll say, wouldn't you look at other things that are out there, like not even close to core intensive, and look at memory intensive, and look at like Autolycos 2 or some of these other ones out there? Because at the end of the day, that's really, as miners, just like you talked about, Chump, like I haven't considered it because it's, you know, it uses 𝐾𝐽 and it's, you know, core intensive and a lot more electric. So I feel like that's definitely something that from a developer perspective that it, you know, maybe it was a quick jump, but if you're looking to future-proof yourself for the next few months, especially, it's going to be a switch. So hope maybe they have it in the pipeline. That would be awesome if they were. Like, well, I mean,
yeah, it's. I mean, when you look at their like their white paper-ish or their plans or the vision or whatever they call it on their website, they're really pushing it towards proof of gaming, not really having anything to do with mining. So I'm sure that whole 𝐾𝐽 thing, like being, you know, core intensive, was really kind of back of the mind because they don't really want people to mine it. They want people to game to earn it. So, I mean, I get that.
I want to say too, like, I know it may sound like we're giving some hard time to core intensive algorithms like 𝐾𝐽 and FiroPoW and anything that's based on ProgPoW, but the reason that programmatic proof of work exists, which is ProgPoW, is to fend off ASICs. Yeah. I don't know where the Autolycos 2 algorithm sits in that. If an ASIC can be created, that's going to be that's just going to just dominate. But the reason that progressive pragmatic proof of work exists is that ASICs can proof of work exists is that ASICs cannot be made to dominate. They can only be so much more efficient, which is why this whole algorithm exists in the first place, and that's why Ravencoin was one of the first to adopt it. It was positioned to Ethereum. That's why it was created. It was for Ethereum. Ethereum gave it the middle finger and said, we're not going to do that. Ravencoin slipped in and said, we will, because we love GPU miners. And then Firo also did the same thing. So although it's a hot algorithm and it's a intense algorithm and your GPUs are gonna feel it, the reason it exists and why it's great that projects picked it is that ASICs cannot be created that are going to be 100 times, 1,000 times more efficient like they can be on other algorithms. That is the whole point of it, why it's been created. So I know it's hard to do as a home miner, but you got to give a little bit of respect there too because of why it exists. And at the end of the day, it very well could be the algorithm that like saves GPU mining going forward because other hardware can't be created to dominate and take GPUs off the table. So I just want to say that too. Give it a little defense there. I know
knowledge bomb drop. Bam.
Me. Yeah.
No, that's actually very interesting the way you put that. To be honest, it is eye opening looking at it like that because I haven't been in long enough to really give a crap about Raven, to be honest, just because I mean, again, my electric bill, you know, but you've been around a lot longer than us, so you know where it actually stemmed from. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, dude.
What do you guys think about that in the chat? That's kind of what I want to know. Does anybody have any feelings about Raven or Firo, or what do you guys think?
I remember when it was developed, 𝐿GodAGirl developed it. She's a developer in the crypto space, and it was developed for Ethereum, like to kick off ASICs and stay true to GPUs, and Ethereum ultimately rejected it. And it was this whole thing where the whole community of GPU miners got behind it and was like, let's please do this. And there was an EIP proposal and all of that.
Oh, really? That must have been a long time ago. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, Ethereum was just like, nah. And then Raven is the project that picked it up and said, yeah, we got you guys.
That's very interesting to hear that like it started out on the Ethereum side and they had no interest at that point in time, which I can only imagine what was the value of that other than the fact of like, some people got some major money in Ethereum and that would have definitely upset them. So I can imagine that was pretty crazy. to say the least. But on Ethereum's note, we'll talk about that a little bit, and then I'd love to just do a quick little Q&A with chat. I think it'd be fun, especially because we're live. But Ethereum proof of stake, September 19th. I know Chump Change, you had quite a lengthy discussion. I actually listened to it on the way back from the beach today on the drive with some very, very unique characters on your live stream yesterday. But Chump Change, I'll throw it to you at a high level. September 19th, you think they're going to hit all these test nets? You think they're going to hit around that date? I know they're using soft, but kind of where are your thoughts at this point?
I mean, again, it's one of those things where they've made, you know, promises or said things before that never happened. So right now it's hard to believe anything that's really said, especially if it's not like a, you know, in fact, like this is what's happening date.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's going to stretch probably to the end of the year, but I mean, Max Voltage was thinking that it's really gonna go on the 19th, or he said the 20th, probably like right around that weekend or whatever. It's probably gonna get pushed through. So I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, where are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'd love to get yours, Red Fox, because like just like you had talked about previously at the top of the show, you're very much heavily invested from the mining side into Ethereum because you're using that to pay bills and stuff like that. Are you quite a little antsy here, thinking about what life's going to look like for you at least in September, or kind of where's your head at?
September feels good for me personally, like just where I am with my farm and all my GPUs and all that, and I still believe GPU mining will continue on in some form that it takes. I mean, it existed before Ethereum. Ethereum definitely made it a household name. I'm not going to discredit that, but it will continue to exist after Ethereum, and I think there will probably be, in my opinion, just some tough periods of leveling out and exploration and all that. So, but as far as their September timeline, I mean, honestly, looks pretty good. Like they've done a ton of work. I covered a lot of this stuff. They did the Kiln network in the beginning. They did Ropsten. Apparently they just did Sepolia. So all that's left is Orally, and then we're in mainnet. So there's one public test network left, and I think they probably may do a couple more shadow forks because they've done 8 of those. I mean, there's nothing that's come out that's been like this glaring issue that I've seen. I'm like probably a couple weeks behind on being super updated on this stuff, but I'm impressed, man. They're hitting all these test networks that have been around, and they're on to the next one, and after that all that's left is the public release on mainnet. So I mean, I think the thing that I consider is if, and I'll credit Bits Be Tripping on this, if they don't hit that September, October, then I think we're probably to next year, because who wants to release something during holidays when developers are going to be off and all that stuff. So,
right.
I don't know. It looks good.
How do you think it's going to like affect the price? It's right. Because obviously we know everything went down to the dumps for right now, but do you think it's going to make it worse or better? Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, if you look in the last like 24 hours, Ethereum's been up since this announcement, which has been really interesting because I honestly thought it would have been opposite. Like, all right, it's coming. We're short period out. Let's start this decline. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster. I mean, I think once Ethereum's proof of stake finally happens, I've never been a part of anything where it's gone from so heavily being part of the proof of work ecosystem to now going to proof of stake and seeing what that's like. I think most people haven't been around and seen that occur. So I do think, I don't know. I mean, I don't have enough ETH that I'm going to be concerned about staking or anything like that. So I've already started my exit strategy on ETH. I'm mining ETH, but it's all getting converted to Bitcoin payouts because I believe more in Bitcoin than Ethereum long term. But I do think they'll hit the date. I mean, I was kind of surprised, like Red Fox was saying, like, I feel like we just had our first test net and now they're just banging through them. Like, I was expecting, I guess, kind of the testing period to be a little bit longer than what we're getting, but it just seems like, all right, they're just checking those boxes and off they go. So I actually posted on Twitter on one of the tweets, and I said, I'm ready for it. Like, let's go. Like, proof of work's next evolution is after Ethereum. Like, Ethereum has been the kind of bread and butter for the longest time, and I am so interested to see like what's next. And I agree with Red Fox. Like, I think it's going to be rough for a little bit, but I'm excited to see. My hope is that we don't end up with one replacement. I don't want an ETH replacement. I'd love to have 3 or 4 that are at least in those top 4 contenders, even for a time period, because that means competition. That means, that means we as miners have options versus now, like we're talking about it. It's like, well, I'm on Ethereum. Well, why? Because it's most profitable. Like, it would be a lot more enjoyable to go, well, out of these 4, I believe in this project more than this project versus just price point. So that's kind of where my head's at. And I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or feedback on that.
I agree with, I'm sorry. I agree with Taines in the chat who said Flux will be the next big money making coin.
Okay.
I'm totally on board with that. But go ahead, Chump Change.
My biggest thing, right, is depending on which coin takes over, I'm really concerned with the whole selling aspect of it, right? So Ethereum is so easy to sell right now, and Bitcoin, obviously, all that stuff. But like, say Flux. Coinbase doesn't support Flux as of right now. I mean, I know they're trying to, get on other exchanges and all that stuff, but right now it's not there. And for people like me, that's what I use. It's easier to, just throw it in, get the money out, it goes right to my bank account, 3 to 5 days, I'm paying my bills. You know what I mean? It's simple. So I really hope whatever becomes most profitable next is a coin that's at least on the exchanges that are easy to use for us. Like, I mean, I know there's other people around the world that watch this, but right now in the US, like, I want it to be like a US based exchange that's just easy to deal with, and all the whole 9 yards. That's what I'm nervous about.
That's a good point, man. Yeah, because cashing out ETH is so easy.
It's wicked easy. Like, it's just any place you can sell it. You know what I mean? It's just.
When I was talking with, when I did that interview the other day, the live interview with Daniel Keller from Flux and also with Joseph Arminio from Ergo, and that was one of the questions I had talked to them about, was like, from a miner's perspective, the easeability to liquidate to cover operating costs is critical. And that was that actually stemmed from something that 𝗔𝐶𝐶 had said forever ago about, like, well, Ravencoin's in a good spot because you have that ability to do that. And chatting with them, they, based off of my conversations, they've been trying to get on Coinbase, but they're not stepping forward and, flashing cash in order to do that. Versus where Coinbase and a lot of these other ones are very much like they follow trends. So they're like, oh, everybody's interested in Dogecoin, or everybody's interested in Shiba. Great, I'm gonna jump after it. They literally will overnight that. They will overnight that onto their exchange because they're gonna make money because of fees and everything like that. So the thing is when Ethereum goes away, I mean, I personally hope Flux, Ergo, a lot of these other ones that are proof of work will already be set up before September 19th. That would be awesome. But I'm fearful that all of a sudden this flip happens and then Coinbase and those are kind of catching up. Like, oh crap, like Flux is taking off and we don't even have it listed right now. So I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, they'll list it as fast as possible because they're going to want to make money off of it.
Right. And you can just, you could always use like that Simple Swap website or whatever to swap into coins that you can sell. It's just an extra step you need to deal with on taxes, and you guys know it's just the least amount of steps you have to take is like the best, because then it's less bullshit you need to deal with at the end. So I don't know.
Back to your question on ETH price with proof of stake. I'm just the thing I'm curious about. There's so much sell pressure on ETH because of miners. Because they have to sell to cover their operating expenses, and I feel like when we go to proof of stake, operating expenses are probably less. So I'm wondering if price, because we're gonna just pay for like a server to host it or something like that.
That's a real good point.
How is that gonna is that gonna positively impact price? That's the thing I'm wondering about. Because I mean, the reality, I mean, for me, example, I sell half the Ethereum I mine every week, so sell pressure brings the price down. Think about these huge mining farms that got to do the same thing and cover costs. Then all of that goes away. Is what replaces that, paying for servers and all this stuff to run nodes. Is that like equal what miners have to do? Is it less? Is it more? That's the thing I think about.
I mean, it's got to be less, right?
Yeah,
Thinking about it, it's got to be less.
It's got to be.
Well, you got to think too, as we get closer to proof of stake, a lot of people, is that fear factor, are going to cash out anyway. because the fear factor is going to come in. So now that the total amount is going to drop significantly. I mean, you're still going to have people that are hanging in there and that are staking, but I think a lot of like all these miners, think of it, all these miners that have a little bit of Ethereum, and if they're holding it, are you going to hold it through proof of stake, or are you going to take it and convert it to Bitcoin just to play the safe card? Because you're like, all right, well,
you got to think too, you can still stake it. You're just going to join a staking pool.
Correct. So now your
Ethereum could still make more Ethereum. You just got to pool it with other people to get to the 32.
Yep.
So now when you do that, there's, even if you're still staking it in that aspect, there is still no way to get it out until the next update, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, if you convert to ETH2, you got to wait to that next fork so that it can be, exactly.
And that's where the nodes are held, right? ETH2 is that?
Yeah, when you
I don't know how all that works, but
yeah, when you convert it to stake it, it's going to be Ethereum 2.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
And then you got to wait for the next fork and next update so that you can do anything with that.
Yeah, based on what they're saying, the fork will directly follow proof of stake. Yeah. So like that's like the next thing they're working on. Hopefully it's sooner than later, because I know there's a lot of people that are concerned there that like it gets drug out a little bit and you don't really have the opportunity to manage that money. Yeah. So the sooner that fork comes after proof of stake, the better. Yeah,
because like right now the beacon chain's live, right? So I have Ethereum that I've converted to ETH2 that's on the beacon chain that's staking on Coinbase. It's just stuck doing that until that next fork. I can't do anything with it. I can't trade it, sell it, do anything with it until that next fork happens.
Yeah, that's kind of scary, because like, do you think that they would potentially like on purpose drag their feet to hold the Ethereum so you cannot sell it to drive the price up? Does that make sense?
Who knows anymore, right? Yeah,
I'm like that. I'm still freaking nervous.
ep1559 happened, and they literally said we're doing this because I think it will drive up the price. So
right. So
I mean, at the end of the day, I want the price to go up too. So I guess whatever. As bad as it might feel inside. I got my Ethereum t-shirt on. Let's go.
Fangirl right here. All right.
Oh man.
So let's do like three. We'll do 3 questions from chat. So if you want to at any one of us, we'll do 3 total. And
3. After that countdown, we're only doing 3 questions. Jeez.
Screw you, Red Fox Crypto.
Missed me so much. Chump Change missed me so much.
I missed you so much. I can't even explain it.
Anybody looking to join us for a 3rd seat? We'd love to get rid of Red Fox Crypto for a while again. Just putting it out there.
Actually, I think if Red Fox isn't around, we're going to try to get Chili on one of these Red Fox. I mean, wow, I just like verbally threw up. We're going to try to get Chili over in Red Fox's seat if he's not available next week. But if not, I might swap out with him just so he can get on.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'd be interesting. I'd like to hear from Chili and what's going on with Octominer over there.
Yeah, for sure.
They have a lot of stuff. They just came out with the so I got my Octominers in, and they came out with the Rev 3, I guess. So revision 3. And they look a little different. They got the
12 or the 8?
I got the 12s. I assume they did them all the same. So like the only thing that bothers me, right? It's because I'm so weird when it comes to like looks. So like if I was putting them all in a row, I'd have 6 that have octagons and 6 that have like these just straight circles right on the front of the fans. So like they redesigned the fans and they redesigned the handles, so my handles can't go, like I can't put the handles on and stack them flat on the floor like I was going to. So I mean, it is what it is, not a big deal, but it's neat. I'm hoping there's no issues when I turn them on, though. I haven't tested any of them yet, so we'll see. There's no dents to be worried about.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say I still have one that's just mangled in pieces on the floor that I've been like stripping components out of because it came so damaged. I hope Chili doesn't watch this.
That sucks, dude. That sucks. Yeah, it's dude, these shippers, they don't care. They're like, handle people,
Customs
fragile.
Just destroyed it is what happened.
That sucks, man. Yeah, automatic eats definitely have OCD.
All right, so let's take this one for now. This is a decent one. So how many years do you guys see yourself mining in the future? Is there a stop date? So I think we'll pair this with if there's not necessarily a stop date, what would be your like what would have to happen?
Can we swap it out for the better question?
Sure.
Which box fan just asked?
He said, how many years do you see yourself eating pizza in the future?
Oh, Jesus. Boxman is such a troll. I did not see it. I had to scroll down.
So I guess I'll start. I mean, so there is no stop date for me. I honestly I enjoy content creation, so it's nice and it's kind of a nerdy subject. Red Fox, gotta hold yourself together,
I
man. You're
know.
killing me. Oh man.
A little giddy
But
over
yeah,
here.
it's he's making me cry. I can't even do it. Anyways, yeah, so there's no stop date. It's just one of those things where I have the stuff, right? I would rather run it when I can run it and just let it sit when it has to sit, and that's it. But I'll always turn it back on, or I'll always swap out for new stuff, or I mean, I never stop buying crap. I have a problem hoarding, apparently. It's one of those things, man. I don't know. When you're a miner, it's like you just enjoy it to its fullest. It's kind of like riding a dirt bike, right? Like you got it in the garage. It's not like you're using it all the time, but you're gonna use it, because you still enjoy it, and it's just something you like. So that's it. I mean, I don't know if I want to go to Red Fox. I think Hobbyist.
I'll jump in first. This man's a mess. So I think for me, it's definitely come down to profitability too. Like I thought about this the other day regarding the fact of like my 580s. So like, I think sometime the next like week or two, I'm going to like some of my 580s or some of my other GPUs. I'm not going to sell them because one, it's one of those things where like I know how much work I put in to get some of the GPUs I have out there, and so it's like and two, it's like I know the price I bought them for, and I can't imagine the price to sell them for right now. So it's like, nah, I'm good. Like, so I would rather take some of those GPUs, pack them up, box them up, put them away, and then if it's a year or two or three before we see any recovery, and if they're even of value, then great. I can start mining with them again, or maybe there's a coin that they can work on that'll do well. But I think it's interesting because I feel like once you get into mining, I don't know of very many people that completely get out of it. Like I've heard some people be like, I sold everything, I'm going to buy back in at X amount of date, or like I have everything powered down, I'll come back in at that point. But I haven't heard of very many people over the last 2 years that I've been into it where they're like, no, I cashed out of mining and I walked away. It's, you know what I mean? I feel like once you get some of that. Red Fox, what about you? Like, is there a point where you would just walk away from mining entirely and cash out, or what?
I'm gonna eat pizza till the day I die, man.
I knew you were gonna say that. I had such a feeling he was gonna.
Were you holding on to that answer? Were you really holding on to that answer the entire time?
Myself together. Holy shit, that was so funny.
Oh man, that's great.
What a mess.
That's great.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No, it's true though.
For real. I need to get rid of these tears. Mining is just, man, I don't know. Like there's something to be said about staying through the down cycles. You never know. I think at some point mining probably won't exist in the future. But until that day comes, man, there's no like timeline. There's no like I'm gonna stop this time. I think there's something to be said for even people that stayed through it in the 2018, 2019 times. Maybe they just shut off their GPUs, then they had them, they're ready to go when things got profitable again. And I know Ethereum moving is scary because that's the big winner, and that's what drives a lot of mining coming out of these bear markets and into these bull markets. But I think as long as there's coins willing to support mineable algorithms, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna go through these cycles, and I do think at some point it won't exist anymore. But I think we're probably years and years and years out from there. So, man, that was hard to actually be serious there. Holy God! I just
Fully Electric actually said something about will you guys ever expand into ASIC mining or just mainly stay GPU miners? And I think that's a real good backup question to that. So I personally, my situation, like the iPolos and the Jazz miner, I mean, not saying that that's going to really last too much longer. I know it'll work on ETC, but in general, you guys get what I'm saying. The wattage pull on these things and the hash rate they actually are capable of, it's just unreal, and there's really no competing with it. So realistically, I mean, it's either you spend $2,000 on a 3090 that's going to cost you the same amount of electricity and get you way less hash rate, or you spend $2,000 on like an iPolo that's going to do, the same as a 3090 in wattage, and it's going to pull like 10 times the hash rate. You know what I mean? It's not really 10 times, but just in general, you get what I'm saying. It's a lot. It's a lot more than a 3090. So money wise, I would most likely probably start going that route, depending on how, you know, costly GPUs are in the future. The 4000 series, who friggin' knows how much they're going to be, you know what I mean? So that's just my take on that.
I think looking into the future, I think even like Red Fox had talked about it at the top of this when we were catching up with him, is like efficiency. Like everyone's looking at efficiency, and I think
and heat, really, because those are really cool compared to, like, you know, higher end GPUs.
Well, I know that something like, is it called like the E9 or something like that came out, and it's like only 1,920 watts, and it's like, wow, like there's like 2 point some gigahash,
3 gigahash or something stupid. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I think the fact that some of these ASIC companies are keeping efficiency in mind is fantastic. Like it's making it more of an understanding, and I do like the fact of like trying to make smarter decisions. I mean, Red Fox over here talking about 17 cents for what you're paying for. It's like, holy cow, like efficiency, man, you're living and breathing it. So I do think that if GPUs are going to go the direction, like 4000 series are not efficient. Like, let's be honest here. Now, granted, we don't know their hash rate numbers and stuff like that yet. So maybe their hash rate numbers are insane. And maybe we start, like, maybe they're through the roof. I don't know. But some of these mini ASICs do look pretty decent. I think it's just going down the hard part is now is with, you know, everybody's looking at Ethereum. So I think once we're through proof of stake and some of this starts to stabilize whenever it is, some of these mini ASICs and some of these other ASICs might be a little bit easier to swallow because it's like, oh, I'm making X per day, you know, they've gone up. But I think now it makes it so questionable. So yeah, I think the timing's really interesting between everything and like proof of stake and the 4000 series and everything. So I'm not writing off some of these mini ASICs because I think some of them definitely can bring in some good money for the wattage. What about your thoughts, Red Fox, with the ASIC side of things?
It's tough. I think it's really cool because when I got into mining, there was just ASICs. There was no like at-home ASICs that were either, you know, the minis or what are the other ones, like the silent, like the quiet ones, the light ones, I think is what they do.
The light series,
yeah, and those are really cool because they're doing the right. I think they're smart. They're making it accessible for home miners. It's tough for me because it still comes down to ASICs do one thing, and that's all they do. And then when they stop doing it, they're worthless. GPUs always have that flexibility because they're a jack of all trades to have some kind of resale value or be pivoted and used for a different thing. And I think it's still all about when do you get it? When do you get it at the right price? Like timing. Right now, you could probably get some of these mini ASICs or ASICs at a really good deal. And then what you're up against is two things. You're up against the price of the coin, and then you're also up against how long until this ASIC gets replaced for a better one.
Right.
And that's what gets really tough. So there's still a huge like risk and gamble associated with that versus like a GPU. But the other thing I think about, especially with Ethereum going away, is like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is ASIC only. So as far as like getting involved with ASICs, Bitcoin looks pretty good. The problem is the big boys own it. So I don't think there's any like mini silent, quiet, at-home ASICs for Bitcoin that I've seen at least.
Awesome. They got those nice little USB miners. If you're those for like $10,000 for 6 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So stupid. Oh my god! I'm like, no.
You're just left with these like ridiculously loud and power-hungry ASICs for Bitcoin that are you know they're going to warehouses. That's where they're going. Then everything else with ETC or Cadena or Doge or whatever else is out there. Library and Starcoin, whatever that is.
I know.
It's just like, you know, it's a huge gamble and risk. So, and there's no resale value. There just won't be.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, those are good points. I mean, the mini ASICs, the mini box miners, like the iPolos and stuff, they look cool. I really like the look of them.
Yeah,
so like,
me too.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It would be hard to resist when it comes to like if I was, you know, in a bull market and do I buy this or this? Like, I would really have a hard decision. And I mean, Red Fox, you brought up a really good points when it comes to like, you know, they do only one thing. And then, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, what would you guys do in the chat? Type 1 if you would be a GPU miner still, or 2 if you would, you know, get into ASICs as time goes on. I'm kind of interested to know.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is, I mean, I'll be completely transparent. You know, I have a number of these iPolos that I need to get set up, but I'm from that are completely sponsored. So be transparent about it. But the nice thing is for me, like, I'm actually excited about it because then I have a few GPUs that are still that I have on Ethereum Classic. So I'm eager to get them off of that because these iPolos, man, I mean, the iPolos, the Jazz Miner, by the time I'm done, I'm like, I got a handful of these things and it's great. Then I don't need to worry about putting any of my GPUs on Ethereum Classic and I can build those bags, which is what I'm interested in. Like, let's build those bags now and see what happens. So it's like, all right, cool. Like, I have my 12 470s on Ethereum Classic and it's like, all right, I may either power them off and box them up, like I said, or pivot them onto something else. Because those things, I mean, you can't compete with them. And now, granted, they're sponsored hardware, so it's a little bit different. But at the same time, it's like awesome for the watts. I mean, Jesus, between all of those, I mean, you're looking really well, a decent amount of hash rate on Ethereum Classic.
Right, and it looks like it's mixed in the chat actually between people that would stay GPU mining and people that would just go with ASICs too.
Yep.
But yeah, no, what you said about it being a sponsored product. So obviously for us, it's a little different. Yes, like we get these units sent to us to do reviews on them and stuff. So I know it's hard to, I don't know, I guess like it's hard to be genuine when you get something like that, right? Like handed to you. So
sure,
it is difficult to think about. Would you actually spend the money on it if you didn't get it handed to you first? But now that I have it, like seriously looking at it, not even trying to shill it, it makes sense. And I'm really not trying to shill it. And I really did not feel good about them at all until I got one sent to me and I actually got to look at it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this thing is like, this really makes sense. Like, and for the money now, like the prices are so far down. Like the Jazz Miner, I just looked at it today because I did a profitability video on it. It was almost 11 grand, right, for the unit in general, and it's down to like $4,500. I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's just crazy how much money they take off these things.
I wish those things were available 2 years ago. That would have been insane.
That's what I do.
Insane.
Yeah,
I will
we'd
say
all be
this,
loaded.
the just like, I don't know, man. The ease of setup on those things too. There is something to be said about that.
Yeah,
just plug it in and go.
Building a rig.
No risers, no loose connections. The PCIe's aren't touching each other.
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. The other thing I was gonna mention is, man, ETH. Like, so I know price of ETH is down, so your dollars that you're getting are less. But I'm sure you guys are seeing like the amount of Ethereum you are getting is way more. With the difficulty bomb delay and the price of the network hash rate coming down. So, I mean, my payouts are way more often right now on Ethermine than they were before, just for the amount of Ethereum I'm getting. And just the thing to remember too is that's what bear markets are all about. Bear markets are about accumulating a lot of coin. You're getting a lot more coin right now because everybody else is shut off. So as long as you are profitable or at least break even, I think it's still a smart decision to get all of that coin. And then if we go through another cycle like we have many times, like that's really going to mean something when the USD or whatever your fiat value goes up dramatically. So that's the thing I always look at. I always look at the amount of coin I'm generating, and am I generating that amount of coin at a profit in USD for me? And if I'm doing it, I'm happy because I know I'm looking for the future. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to turn my rigs on and see how much I actually yield now. So like when I shut them off, right? It was literally getting just under 2 or just over 2 Ethereum a month. And, with the price being, what was it? It went down to like $1,100 or $1,000. It was like my electric bill being literally over 3 grand. I'm like, I'm not going to mine. There's no point. Like, why am I going to mine? Like, it makes no sense to me. I'm literally throwing $1,000 in the toilet. So, I mean, but like you said, if the yields are higher now, regardless of the price being lower, if I'm getting 3 Ethereum, that's, worth it for me to turn back on. So I don't know. I might have to see the monthly average and just turn it on for a couple of days and see what it says. Because that'd be kind of interesting to know.
Yeah, I mean, even if you turn it on for a few hours, just to give you an idea. I mean, I've noticed the same thing.
Right.
Like the payouts looking pretty good right now, which is nice. And I mean, as long as you're covering costs, that's the kind of thing. I mean, I haven't gone the avenue, but it's always in the back of my mind, like Red Fox, regarding like cashing out half or whatever. I haven't gone that route yet, but it's in the back of my mind. And Red Fox, if you haven't caught up, my electric bill will double next month in August. Yeah. Because my unlimited plan goes away. Well, at least I go onto a different unlimited plan. I'm going to be about 900, a little over per month. So I may go that route. I've always paid for it through being blessed with YouTube and then being able to bring that in as an income stream. But if YouTube's not cutting the costs for operating costs per month, at some point, that's the route I'm going to have to go. So no, I agree with you. I mean, those yields have been awesome. So it'll go away here soon in September. It sounds like. So we'll see. Definitely see what happens. Any last questions that stand out to you two before we go ahead and wrap things up for today?
I don't really see much. The Travelers asked 6600 XT or non-XT. What would you guys?
Mike can answer this. He has a video on it that is pretty good.
6600.
Yeah.
Watch my video.
Yep. Watch his
I'm
video.
out.
Mic drop.
Yeah, for
Perfect.
the cost, it really comes down to the cost difference. The cost difference and then the performance. You'll notice very quickly, which is awesome. Cool. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap things up there for today. We've been going for a little over an hour, actually, which is great for episode 20. Great audience, actually, tonight for Sunday night. So we'll have to keep that in mind for the future. We don't do these live all the time, but special occasions, it's always nice to do these live, have a live audience, chat with everybody. Make sure if you guys are checking this out on my channel, please make sure that you go over. If you haven't, which I guarantee 99% of you already do, subscribe to these guys. Please make sure that you do if you don't, which would be awesome. Other than that, sounds like these guys will have some videos coming up here shortly, which is awesome. 𝐶HMCH talked about it, as well as Red Fox giving us a nice little tour here at some point of things changing, which will be great. Anything you guys want to promote or shout out before we wrap things up?
Pizza time. It's pizza time.
That and really just the meter box thing. If you guys haven't went and got, some free entries into that, you guys should definitely do so. Again, you can win an iPolo. It's totally worth it.
Yeah,
doesn't cost you anything. So
take
take 5 minutes to go do it. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
I'll put a link in the chat so you guys can go check it out. Feel free. But yeah, that's it, man. That's
awesome. Sounds good, guys. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us today. From myself, 𝐶HMCH, and now back again, Red Fox Crypto. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Peace out.
Peace.